Missed it by a couple of seconds. I was looking at something else. Hello, my CNC brothers and sisters. I'm Garrett with IDC Woodcraft, and welcome to another CNC Wednesday Hangout. I believe that I am going to be a little fuzzy tonight. My Wi-Fi is acting a little funny. Next to me is Julianne. You all know who Julianne is. She's the IDC Woodcraft administrator, and I forgot to kick her out before we started the show. So it just is what it is. And yeah, first of all, welcome all my CNC brothers and sisters. We have another giveaway coming up in 1 hour, and we're going to do a flash sale tonight. So with that, I'll announce that in just a little bit. So Julianne will be in the background taking care of stuff. You all, like I said, you all know who she is. She wears the pants at IDC Woodcraft along with Liberty. I just do what they tell me to do, and that's kind of how it flows. So yeah, and we'll just keep the giveaway a secret, and I'll bring you back out when you get that little special set up, the little flash sale that we're doing tonight. Okay, brothers and sisters. First of all, I want to say hello to some friends. We got Robert and TN Timberworks, another Robert, and then it's Mike. Hi, Mike. Jetty's back. What's going on, Jetty? I got your project that you sent right over here. I mean, like 3 feet away from me. Jetty sent a project to me. It was very, very cool. And Jim, Ralph, Rick, let's see, Gary Lynn and Bill, our friend Bill out in Colorado, Arizona, sorry, William, Bill Coleman, first CNC brother I ever met when I have been doing this since I started doing it. There's Grant and Jack in the shop. I like that, Jack. You said, I'm here. You can start now. So last week we had Jack in the shop on live. He was teaching us about lasers, and really a very interesting show that Jack really knows his stuff. So we talked, and he is going to work on on the presentation that he showed. So we're going to really work this up so we have a nice detailed thing, and we're going to get back into it already. So with your questions, if you have questions, put your question in the comments, but make sure you put like question mark, and so that Julianne or Liberty can get that marked. And we got Liberty on board now. So let's see. I am going to bring her up so Liberty can say hello. Liberty takes care of all the shipping for you at IDC Woodcraft, and she's hanging out at the office right now. What's going on, Liberty? Why are you at the office at time of night?
I am actually currently moving, so I don't have Wi-Fi at the new place yet. So I just decided to come spend a few more hours here.
All right. Super, super cool. All right. So Liberty be in the background. And by the way, Workbench Con is coming up in a month. Yeah. In a month. So looks like Liberty and I will both be going there. So yeah, be looking forward to seeing you all there. Whoever decides to go. Workbench Con will be in Atlanta, Georgia. And what else was I going to say? So one of the things I want to share is the Julianne, get this link for the Alt Mill 2x2 or Liberty for the Alt Mill 2x4 announcement page. And so Alt Mill, the CNC router that I have that you know about, that I really like this thing, especially after I did this 3D carve on it. They are now coming out with a 4x2 or 2x4, 4 foot wide, 2 foot deep working space. A lot of people have asked for that. I sent out an email yesterday to I think it was this morning, to the CNC insiders about that. And the price that they are that I put in that email was wrong. They're going to be selling that for like $2,700, and they're also going to be raising the price of the 4x4 very shortly. So it's raising it by $200. So if you've been wanting to get the Alt Mill, get the link for the Alt Mill 4x4 too. If you want to get that alt mill, if you've been eyeballing it, but you've been holding off, this is the time to get it. January 29th is when they're raising the price to almost $3,200 from $2,900. And the alt mill 2x4 is getting released for pre-orders. And then they will ship in April. So pretty excited about that. And yeah, so let's see what we got going on. I already got some questions coming in, so just bring them on. Bring your CNC questions. I do want to share with you, we are working on 2 videos right now, and one of them is this guy right here that I made. I'm going to bring up a picture of it instead so you can see it a little bit better. The very interesting and challenging project that I made for my niece, Isabel. And that's it right there. This has 13 different tool paths set up, and I'm using 8 different router bits in order to make this guy. So this project, I am making 7 videos that are going through the entire process. You know me, I teach step by step. And so this is a whole step-by-step going through the philosophy of how I'm writing tool paths, why I'm doing so much to it, how to set up the layers. It's a legacy gift. I only had this one piece of wood. There was no messing around. So I had to make sure everything worked out quite well for me. I was very, very careful. 7 videos that is going to be in a sequence. And also the marble maze. This is going to be 3 different videos to show you how to make a marble maze on your CNC router. And yeah, I guess most of you know we released the ball down, the downcut, 1/4-inch downcut ball nose end mill recently. Makes super clean, super clean cuts. And yeah, if anybody got that bit, I want to know what you have thought about it. If you've used it, put it in the comments. If you got the downcut ball nose that we just released, and especially if you made this maze. So this file comes with the bit. If you order the bit, you are going to get this file, the G code, instructions, the design file, and it'll tell you everything you need, all the supplies you need, the router bits that I use to run it. So Julianne, please put a link for this in here. So you're not just getting a bit, you're getting the design, and we're sending you a ball bearing for your marble maze you're going to make. So Rich said he got it, but he just hasn't used it yet. And yeah. Anyway, okay. So super cool. So this project, I just do want to talk about this project that I just made real quick, and then we'll start getting into questions. So what this is for my niece, Isabel. This is what we call a legacy gift, right? We're making it a gift. That's something that's going to last someone else for a long time. It's a special gift. And this gift is a card holder and a game piece holder for my niece, Isabel, whose left hand does not work. So and our family plays lots of games. And so when we play, she's got to lay her cards down on the table, and it doesn't really have just a little tedious for her. So yeah, so that's what that's for. So give her something to do. And I tell you, this pocket was a super interesting part of this project. I did that with what we call a molding tool path. So one of the videos actually goes through the molding tool path itself, and just lots of learning that I did on this project. So yeah, super, lot of fun to make. And with that, let's start hammering into some questions. Wish I could say hi to more people, but we got a few people on board, and then we got 14 start already. So first of all, I'm going to bring the ladies back on. Have you guys decided on what we're going to do a special flash sale on? We got that. Is that set up? Yeah, it is. Okay. All right. Liberty, you weren't on board when we were talking about it. So, but anyway, so folks, we are going to do a flash sale tonight for a particular router bit from IDC Woodcraft. And we're going to do 10% off of, let me get this set up here so you can see it. Got to share my screen.
It's a surprise for Liberty too.
I know.
It is a surprise for Liberty.
Which one is it? Which one is it? What am I packing tomorrow?
Yeah,
I'm waiting to click. I'm waiting to click on it. Here we go.
All right. So this is what we're doing a flash sale on. It's the Badger 1/8 high-speed roughing CNC router bit. So this is the baby of the router of the roughing bits. So IDC Woodcraft, we carry, how many do we have anyway? We got the Beast, the Badger, the Hog, the Ripper, the Long Ripper. We have the, what was the Annihilator?
Slayer.
The Slayer and the Long Slayer. So yeah, so 1/2 inch, 3/8, 1/4 inch, and 1/8. So this is a 1/8 roughing end mill. It's a 5/8 depth of cut. And this thing is just as aggressive as all the other ones. It does not leave a clean cut. It is just meant to remove material quickly. So we're going to do a 10% flash sale. And that's going to, how long is that going to go?
Till 11:30 Eastern tonight.
Okay, so tonight is the 22nd of January. So if you're watching this after 11:30 Eastern time on the 22nd of January, the discount code is no longer available. So ladies, we'll put a link in the description. Make sure you use the code. It's Badger 25, right? Or
No,
B,
it's just Burr 25, B with 3 R's because it's cold.
yeah, okay. No, okay. Brr, the Badger 25. All right, 10% discount flash sale ends in about 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So there you go. If you want another roughing bit to add to your list, there you go. And then remember, we are giving away a bit later on at 9 o'clock Eastern time, which is about 50 minutes from now. All right, let's start handling some questions, brothers and sisters, from Billy. When making a 3D carve, and you are going to need to use the TBN, that's the taper ball nose, how do you choose which one to use? Is there a favorite? Picking the wrong one could cost you a lot of time, and time is money. Thank you. I like that question, Billy. Okay, so that's actually I'm going to come right back into this project I made for my niece Isabel, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit. So I got to bring that one up. And so I worked on these. Now, these are 3 inches around, 2.5 inches around in diameter, the size of that. So you can see I still need to do my cleanup finish work on it. I'm holding off because we have to shoot the final video for it. But so you can see how tight the detail is on this with the ridges in the leaf. This, if you have a small project and it's got high detail like this, that's when you want to go to the ultra fine taper ball nose bit. Ladies, please put links in the description as I bring these things up. I'm sure you already are. I guess it's time to have another drink. Anyway, so in the case like this with a small 2.5D relief, it's got a lot of fine detail in it. You want to go to the ultra fine. Now, one thing about this kind of stuff, the ultra fine, it's a very small tip bit. So your step over is 5 to 8%. That means it's going to run for quite a long time. But that alt mill, this was the first relief carves I've done on the alt mill, and I was floored at how fast it did it did this 2.5D relief carve. So when you're doing small ones like that, then you definitely want to think about the ultra fine taper ball nose, and I will bring that up as well. Now, The same model, before I bring that up, the same model, if you use the same model here and we made it 10 inches in diameter, I would go to the fine detail taper ball nose or even an 1/8-inch ball nose bit, because that detail will come out in the larger carves. So I would tend to go with the fine detail taper ball nose. Again, it always comes down to the level of detail you want to grab and the speed of the machine. Now, I have done these type of carves with a 1/4-inch ball nose bit, but it was a large carve. It was like 18 inches. It didn't quite have the detail that you would find in this right here. But it definitely had some detail in it. If any remember, it was the woman holding the flag. There was a little bit of a few people gave me a hard time because they said the flag was backwards in the project. But yeah, whatever. So, Billy, at the end of the day, think of the level of detail that you want. And I want to pull the taper ball nose bits up. I'd suggest you just get them as a set. And I'll pull them up so you can see them. Just give me a minute so I can find them in my computer. And then I'll work on sharing the screen and bring it up. So there it is. We got them as a set right there. So you have the ultra fine, which is the one on top, and the fine detail, which is the one on the bottom. And there you go. I did want to show you this, though, on this project with Isabel, and why I like that card holder and why I really like the ultra or the clean cutting 60-degree V-bit. Look at the level of detail of that lettering. This is why I don't like to use flat V-bits if I can help it. These letters are 1/2 inch tall, and it really, and this is an ash wood, and it really I couldn't believe that it actually captured that detail that well. So super impressed with it. Okay, so Billy, I hope I answered your question on that. So we've got Spooky MBD. I have an issue with easel getting everything centered on my wood. Any suggestions? I played with easel once, like 4 years ago, and unfortunately, I did not like it, and so I'd never touched it again. So I honestly can't help you with that particular thing. But the easel users, make sure you make a comment about that and what you might want to do on that. And just wanted to see a couple comments there. Okay, number 15. Let's see. It is centering to the right slightly. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't touched the software enough to know. Wandering Star, my man, caught this guy down in it was down in Atlanta, right? Liberty. Yeah, I think not Atlanta. It was down in Texas at the Vector Convention. Was it Texas? Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so do you have a preferred script font to use in VCarve engraving toolpath? It would be just to make capital letters. So the font that I just showed you on this project, I love this font. It's called Edwardian Script. Now, I don't believe that comes with your software. You have to go find it and download it and install it. Now, I've got a video that tells you how to install a font that you have downloaded. So, ladies, if you can find that video, then link it. It'll tell you. Just do a search for Edwardian Script, and that's the font. That's my favorite of all time to use. It's not too noisy, too messy, as long as you don't do all capital letters. If you do all capital letters, it doesn't look very good. And so Two Towers Art, how do you join the CNC Insiders? Watch the comments, and also in the description of the video, it is in the description of every single video that I put out. There's a link to sign up to the Insiders. So those who are on CNC Insiders, when I release a new bit, I release them, they get a 15% discount. And Liberty, I'm going to bring you up. So Liberty does all the shipping. And what happens when we release a bit to the Insiders? Are you there?
No, I die.
You look like you're frozen there for a minute.
I think I kind of am.
Okay. Well, yeah, you're looking a little choppy on my end, but it may be my Wi-Fi. So anyway, how do you get on the CNC Insiders? There will be a link down below in the description. Juliana or Liberty will put a link in the comments as well, so that you can join the Insiders. So Insiders always get a 15% discount every time we release a new bit. We are working on another one. This is going to do even better than the Beast and the Hog and the Badger and all that stuff. This is another game-changing bit. We've been probably working at it for about 5 months now, getting the design refined. So, but we've got it worked up. So anyway, so you see what's floating on the banner down below. It says 10% off the Badger CNC router bit, and the code is BRR25. So it's BRRR25. It stands for BRR25 because it was 0 degrees this morning here. And I've seen comments there. It was cold for virtually everybody else as well. The Badger, the bit that we are currently giving you a 10% disc flash sale is this guy right there, a 1/8 diameter roughing end mill. Okay, so let's get on with the questions. Miter trim carpentry. Hi Garrett, do you have a video showing how to set up the post processor in VCarve Pro for the alt mill? Thanks. So yeah. There's a video that tells you how to install your post processor, and I may be talking about the long mill CNC router in that video, but you follow the same process for that, and it's the same post processor. It's the GRBL. Actually, I should hook mine up if I can. All my ports are taken up on the computer. You've got to use GRBL HAL, HAL. And I'm going to see if I can bring up G-Sender and maybe it will show it. I'm not hooked up to a machine. So, okay, I can. I'm going to show this to you. Link, if you haven't already, ladies, link the video to how to install a post processor, everything about a post processor. And then I'm going to show you what you need to do. If you get the alt mill, up in the upper left-hand corner of G-Sender is where you connect to the alt mill. But you can't go with the GRBL. You have to go with an upgraded version of GRBL, which is in G-Sender. You come down to the firmware, select that, and you're going to be highlighted with GRBL, the first one. What you need to do is come down to the second one, where it says GRBL HAL, and you select that, and that will take you to the right control as far as G-Sender goes. But in the software, in the Vectric, you want to use the GRBL inch or metric, depending on which one you prefer to use. I was thinking there was something else I wanted to say on that, but I don't remember. Okay. Rich, what's the difference between the Hog roughing bit and the Beast roughing bit? The difference is the flute length. So the Hog is designed to cut at 1.5 inches depth, and the Beast is designed to cut at 1 inch depth. I have an article written on the website, IDC Woodcraft website. So, ladies, get another. If I had alcohol today, I would not be in good shape by now. Get the link to that web article. I think it talks about roughing bits, and throw that in there because that explains the difference between all three: the hog, the beast, and the badger. And it talks about their use. So that's why I put that article out there, because a lot of people have been asking me about that. Robert, my man, what would a person go to get some free files off the internet? Where would you go? So I'm assuming you're talking about design files. So here's what I would do. First of all, join the CNC Entrepreneurs Facebook group or other CNC Facebook groups, and people share files there all the time. They're free on those Facebook groups. So just join a bunch of CNC Facebook groups, and there will be a bunch of files there. Going abroad on the internet, I would kind of hesitate doing that because you don't know necessarily what you're getting when you're going for free. So go with those kind of files in the groups because people have already run them. They've made the projects and they shared the files. Speaking of which, with this project, when everything is said and done, should I make this file available to you? It's this game piece holder, this like card holder. Put that in the comments. Let me know if I should make that available. It is a fun project, and I guarantee that of all projects that you have made, that will be the learning project of all learning projects. So let me come over to some more of these questions here, see where we're at. Madra, yeah, BR, okay. Have to see what you guys are saying here. Coffee is amazing, goes with the CNC. Coffee does go with CNC. That's why we have the IDC Woodcraft coffee mug that comes with your packages if you your order is over $100. So okay, D-Bink, I have been making lucets by hand. I don't know what that is. Would like to make them on CNC. Looks like a tuning fork. Okay, having trouble with connecting radii as the mirror on the other side. So I got to look this up. Ladies, do you know what a lucet is? I got to take a look on Google first. Just do an image. Lucet. I think that's right. Did I spell that right? Let me go back to the comment. Yeah. Okay. For Google to read, my internet is very slow, so if I'm grainy, I do apologize. Okay. Oh, very, very cool. So it looks like it do something with yarn and stuff. So I can design one up really pretty quick. So I'm going to first bring a picture up so you guys can see what we are talking about, and I can walk through that. And I hope that my stuff isn't too slow, that it becomes too fuzzy. So I'm going to show you what that is. So there you go. That's a lucet. And I guess it has to do with yarn work. And so let's see what the issue is that you are having again. So you like to make them on CNC, looks like tuning fork, having trouble with connecting radius and mirroring the other side. Oh, let's just whip this thing up real quick. This will be fun. So I'm going to go open up my Vectric software. And by the way, you see that banner going along the bottom of the screen. That's a 10% flash sale we were doing on the Badger roughing bit. It's a 1/8 diameter roughing bit. And so this flash sale goes on to 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right? Nod your head, Julianne. It's 11:30 or 11. Yeah, okay. All right, so we're going to share screen. We are going to create this. I just want to having trouble with connecting radius and then mirroring the other side. Okay, so let's see how well I can and how quickly I can whip this puppy up. So we are going to share my entire screen and go here, and I'm going to start a new project. And I'm just going to make this, that looks like it's probably about 8 inches tall. So I'll make this material. We'll just do 8 wide by 8 tall, and I'll leave it at 0.75 thick. I'm going to make it 0.5 thick, half an inch thick. Say okay. So I am going, so on the fly, I'm going to try to piece this project together. I am going to start with a rectangle, and I am going to make what we would do is half of the lucite right there. And then I am going to start with, I think I'm going to do another rectangle. Now I'm going to do a line, polyline, and we'll get to your question. So I'm going to do a line, kind of, we'll just do it right in the middle there. We're going to come down to here, and we'll go down to there, and then we'll come across, hit escape, and then we're going to do the bottom. Oops, we're going to do the bottom of it, the handle like that and like that. So I know this is very, very rough, very quick. I'm going to trim that away. We're doing half the lucite, and what do I want to do? So first of all, we need to get this. Let's go back to my internet picture right there. Okay, it kind of comes in as a taper, kind of wide, rounds in, rounds out. And you're having trouble connecting things. So first of all, let's go with a radius like right here and come down like that. I'm going to bring that. I should have done it that way. Control Z. I'm going to make it like that. And then I want to move this up. I'm going to close that, hit the letter M on the keyboard for move, and I'm going to hover my mouse at the bottom of the circle. So the lower quadrant of the circle, we're going to snap right there. And then I'm going to close, and we're going to trim that circle up. And I'm going to get rid of that corner. So now we've got something going on there. I'm going to do a radius. Under Edit Objects, the third row down, the very first thing is a fillet. I want to bring in a 1-inch fillet because I want to do a radius right there, and it's too big of a fillet, so we're going to do 0.5. If you're trying to do a fillet on a corner and it doesn't do it, it's because the distance of that radius is exceeding the next node. So I'm going to undo that, and I'm going to escape out of this. So we're going to hit the letter N for node. I'm going to look at this. So if I try to do a 1-inch radius, this is too short to actually do a 1-inch radius. This line is shorter than an inch. And so that's what happens when you try to do that. I'm going to hit escape to get out of node mode. I got the nodes from hitting the letter N. I got a 1/2-inch radius, and it doesn't look so good. Control Z, 0.75. This is all on the fly. Okay, we'll just go with that. So what I'm going to do is I am going to select the whole thing, hit the letter N, and the first thing I want to do is I want to join things like a radius. I'm going to look at your question again, but I wanted to mirror this thing first. This is how I would approach this. Let's just say we did the half shape. I get min node mode. First of all, what I want to do is get rid of this center line right here. So I'm going to hover over the node right there and hit the letter C on the keyboard. And what that will do is that will disconnect this node from this line right here, to this line right there. And I'm going to come up to this one. I'm going to hit the letter C again as well. And what I have done now is I have separated this vector from the rest of the object. So now I'm going to delete that. I'm going to select that vector. We're going to hit Control, Shift, and H, and that mirrors across the thing. Now I want to join these two, so I have to select the two vectors. And under Edit Objects, down at the bottom, there are your join vector buttons. And we're going to join with a curve, or with a smooth curve. So it's the third one in. I'm going to select that, and that joined once. Now it is not joined right there. It actually joined it down at the bottom. And the reason I know it's not joined right here is because that little black dot showed up. If I hit that join with a smooth curve again, that dot goes away, and we are now completely joined. This is now a complete vector, completely closed vector. So let me come back into the question. Having trouble connecting radius and then mirroring. So when you connect radius to something else, I'm going to go back into this to show you what to do when I get back to the drawing. I have a line right there. We'll just make a line like that, hit escape, and then I'm going to do an arc or a radius, just like that. And if I want to join these two, then I select them both, and I have several options to actually join these vectors. So we can, the last one I've never used, I know Liberty has used this one, is join vectors by moving points to a common point. So I'm not quite sure how that works. This one joins them with a smooth curve. If I click that, you can see it just joined with that smooth curve, just like that. And then if I click that again, it's going to join the top and the bottom with a smooth curve, just like that. Control Z, I can join them with a straight line by using join vectors with a straight line. I have to select them first. And that one is now joined. And now I'm going to create another straight line right down through the middle, and that will join those two. I'm going to Control Z, and then we got this first one here, which is join open vectors. I've never used that. Let's see what happens. I don't know what that is. I'm not going to get into that if I don't know. I'm not going to take a whole lot of time to try to figure that one out at the moment. Okay. So I hope that helped. Okay. Lucids are interesting. That's I'm assuming that's for yarn work. 20 minutes free giveaway. Ladies will come on board. They'll tell you exactly what it is. Ray Russell, is Workbench Con worth attending? So what I like about Workbench Con is it's a great social thing to go meet with other creators. And they have speakers, they have classes, and classes weren't like, it's more about, it's not CNC specific, right? It's CNC, woodworking, anybody doing woodwork, that's for Workbench Con. So there are classes that they do. Like I said, they're not very intense. They're not really educational classes per se for woodworking. But there are some vendors that are there, and it's just a great social time to meet up with people that do what we do. So yes, it's worth attending for me. I love it. I love connecting with you folks. Anybody here going? Oh, by the way, if you're new to this, if you're brand new to CNC, or if you just got a CNC machine, or you're new to this live show on Wednesdays, then put it in the comments, because we're going to do a happy dance for you. Kind of a quiet evening tonight. I don't have any special guests tonight. We do have Jace from Airweights coming next week. So this is about a vacuum, adding a vacuum table to your CNC router. I've got it on my long mill. I've got one coming in for the alt mill. It's such a fast way to hold your projects down, because you put your board right on the vacuum table, turn that pump on, and that you just go to town. You've got complete freedom around that project. No clamps in the way whatsoever. So once that comes in, I'll be setting that up on the alt mill, and then I'll be doing a video on that guy. From Donald, how long does it take to get a bit entered into the iPhone app? The 1/4 and 1/8 round over are not in there. They aren't. Interesting. Let me take a look. But we will make a note of that for sure. Juliana Liberty, just follow up on that. If it's not in there, then ask Richard to take care of that, please. So we'll get that taken care of. So how long? We should be able to get that in there within a couple of days, but then we have to have the app updated. And sometimes it takes a couple of days for the update on the app. So we'll just say a week, maybe. Is there any rationale for, this is from Joey, is there any rationale for choosing the first carve pass angle in VCarve Pro? Is it an object complexity dependent? So first carve pass angle. Let me go into Vectric because I'm not sure what you're meaning by angle. I'm assuming that you were talking about a profile. So I'm going to share this screen. This is the project that I made for my niece, Isabel. And I'm going to go over to toolpaths. So in Vectric, shortcut key F12 will take you from the design menu to the toolpath menu. And boy, I do not want to mess with this design whatsoever. But I got everything in here. So I'm just going to grab that. So what the first carve pass is, it's something that's in the pocketing toolpath. So when we go to the pocketing toolpath, I'm just going to create a new pocket toolpath. And we have the beast roughing bit in here, and the cut depth is 0.25. Now, down in the area where you select offset and raster, I'm assuming this is what you're talking about, is the profile pass. And the little, it's over to the right, and I hope you can see my mouse. There's this little dialog box for profile pass, and you click it, and then there is a first pass, a first profile pass, and a last profile pass. So you have 3 selections here. And what this does, it actually allows you to carve the profile of the objects. I'm going to just select a couple things, and I'm going to do it with no profile pass. And I want to show you what this thing does. I'm going to continue anyway. If you get the vector validator popping up, ignore it. Go try to run the toolpath. If the toolpath runs okay, don't worry about trying to fix your vectors through the validator. Only if it doesn't carve something in that toolpath that you need to go back and get it. Oh, I know why it's not doing it. So in this case, vector validator came up because I did not select a closed vector. When you're doing a pocketing toolpath, you have to do it with closed vectors. So I just did it with closed vectors, and I think it should work now. There we go. We're going to carve this. This is without the first or last profile pass. It's just a pocketing pass, and we're going to preview this toolpath. And there it is. Let's give it a color. And you can see in the upper corner how this is going to carve. It's going to look really choppy. And it does the same thing on this little pocket down here. If I was to go to the 2D view, we are doing this line right here, this dotted line. We are carving everything out from the inside of the outer line to that dotted line. And it ends up looking like that. Now, this project, I could actually do this cut without the first or last profile pass, because all I'm doing is clearing material away. I don't care about having fine-tuned toolpath. Now, if we go into the toolpath and I come down to the first or last toolpath, profile, adding that profile, I'm going to click first. What the router bit will do, I'm going to reset the preview, and I'm going to slow the speed down. And what you're going to see, since I selected first, what the router bit's going to do is going to profile around the outer vector and the inner vector first. It's actually going to trace it, and then it'll clear everything out after it makes that trace. So preview the visible toolpath. It's still going a little fast. I have to do this again. I want to slow it down so it shows up here. All right, preview visible toolpath. There we go. So you see it's actually cutting around the profile first, and then it comes in and roughs out the material. I will explain the philosophy behind this and when you might want to use it and when you might not want to use it. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to go to the last profile pass, calculate that again, reset the preview, and then preview the visible toolpath. Now what it's doing is roughing everything out before it comes in and does that final clean up profile. Let's go a little bit faster. So what I like to do is I like to do my profile toolpath first, because I have material support on both sides of that router bit when it's actually doing some of its finished work. If I need to, if I'm just clearing material out of the way and it's not going to affect anything, then I don't need to go through the profile toolpath, because it just uses up tool life. So the rationale for going first pass or last pass, the angle thing in here I didn't see. So I got to go back in and see if I can see an angle on that. Okay, the raster angle. So it's got the raster angle in there as well. So I rarely go with an angle in that. So if this is a toolpath we're talking about, I almost never go at an angle to the grain of the wood when I'm using a raster toolpath. I never do, because I want to cut along the grain of the wood. Otherwise, I will have witness marks from the tool. And okay, I got to give a shout out here to Erickson Design. So, gave a $50 little gift. By the way, it's almost time to take the ladies out to the chop house, because you guys have donated some gifts to us just like this. Very nice. Cheers. Can we pay it forward? A Badger Bit giveaway to a new user tonight or next week. Wow. That's up to the ladies. I guess it's on them. So ladies, make note of this this gift from Erickson. Looks like he wants to gift a Badger to somebody. So take care of it. It's all yours. They'll be coming on here in about 10 minutes, and they will we'll do the free giveaway, and then I guess they'll have to figure this one out. So hey, I love it. I love doing that you do that. Yes, absolutely, we'll do that. By the way, how do he make a contribution? Down below the video, there's a little $sign there, and you can click that and make a little donation for all of us hanging out here on a Wednesday night. Liberty is actually at the building and at the office, because she has no Wi-Fi where she's at in her new place. Billy McGee, $20. Thank you all. Add to the card holder project. Yeah, super cool. All right, I can see what's going on. Thank you, Billy. Thank you. I haven't. So right now I've been in the back looking at just the comments that people have starred, and so I got to come to the main thread and see what y'all are saying here. Jeff is saying, ever use the tile gasket product? Oh, the tile gasket product, yeah. So you're talking about the stuff from All Star CNC? Yeah, I've used that. And tile gasket, it's very cool, because you can. So what tile gasket is? It's for a vacuum table, and it just has a bunch of holes in it. What it does is it reduces the leakage area of the vacuum around the system, and it actually has about an 85% more pull because of that on the project. And so you can just slap your project down. You don't have to set up any gasket around a vacuum grid. You literally just slap it down, turn the vacuum on, give it a minute to pull the material down, and then you can just run from there. The thing you got to remember is with tile gasket, once you suck that down, you got to keep at your project until you're done, because tile gasket is foam, right? It's a thin foam, but it is foam, so there is going to be some collapse on it, some up and down, so that foam can have different compressibility from one time that you turn it on to another time you turn it on. But for the tile gasket, it is super fast. It actually surprisingly good holding power as well. So there you go. Oh, I see Mark Lindsay's on board. You've probably been here. Hey, Cody, what's going on? We'll be talking to you very soon, my friend. And okay, let's get to a couple more questions. Jeff, what's the difference in IDC versus Amazon bits technically? Well, we guarantee our bits. We're probably the only company out there that guarantees our bits. You got a 90-day, you break it, we'll replace it, guarantee. So that's the first thing, right? I don't compare my product to Amazon. The bits from IDC, when we get it, we start off with basic profiles. I do. And I will start to work with tooling companies to come up with the geometries that I want to get an optimal bit. So most of your Amazon bits, many of them cut well, right? It's just, I don't know how they're designed, right? I know how mine are designed. So other than that, I mean, make comments in the comments, folks, what you think about the difference between Amazon bits and IDC bits. But I can tell you the number one difference is I will replace it if you break it, right? But stuff happens. So that's how much faith I got in our stuff. So TN Timberworks, I am currently using the new BMUP on a wavy flag. BMUP bitmap maybe. A wavy flag. The cut is incredibly smooth. Oh, the ball nose, the down cut or up cut? Ball nose up cut. Okay. When the cut is incredibly smooth and zero fraying and tear out. Yeah. So when you're doing like a 2.5D carve or the wavy flag or something like that, the upcut ball noses do great because you're not really doing any corner type of work. So you're not gonna, they leave really good finish as long as your step over is nice and tight. Okay. Two Towers Art. Which IDC bit is good for walnut? All of them. Yeah, all of them. That's a straightforward answer. I don't have any non-wood, non-walnut bits. What's going on over the comments? Let's take a look. Okay. 8 minutes. We got a big giveaway, and then we also have that donation, right? To give away a badger to a new creator. All right. So, Ronnie, Garrett, how many cards will that tray hold? Put a whole deck in it. So I will tell you something of one thing I am. Well, I've modified it from the run that I did. And so I used the one I made originally to tweak out the file that I would give away. So this is 17 inches wide. So you can see the card slots are probably 12 inches wide at the width maximum, maybe, yeah, I'd say 12. The slot width is 1/4 of an inch. And I found that that's just a little bit too wide. So the cards are leaning back a little bit too far. Maybe the project's not deep enough, or the slot's not deep enough. This is made of ash. I think I already told you that. But you probably hold a whole deck in this thing. It definitely has the room to do stuff, to hold a lot of cards. See what we got. I want to see what's going on in the comments. Hey, Greg from STL. How to get entered for giveaway. You will learn about that in 7 minutes. Frank, what is the purpose of the 1/8 inch holes in the marble maze? Oh, great question. Let's go back to the marble maze design. Find a picture, bring it up. There it is. So the marble maze has a marble in it, and in order to keep the marble in there, you put a plexiglass top on it. And so in order to hold the plexiglass top down, you need to have holes, screw holes. And so that's what the holes are for in the design. There's 4 holes, and the machine will drill those holes. It'll also cut the holes in the plexiglass and cut the plexiglass to the right size. And that's what the holes are for in this project. That was actually a really fun project to put together. And the material, I really like the material, this Bamex material, because there was no finish work afterwards other than maybe sanding the corners or the edges, just to sand down the outer edges of the project just a little bit to just kind of round it out. Standard corner sanding that you do. Did I have that picture up? No? Okay. Sorry. I thought I had the picture up. I thought I shared it. So there you go. There's plexiglass on it. And so the 4 holes are for the screws that are in the to hold the plexiglass cover down. Good question. It's a really fun project to make. Okay, Rick. Question: your feeds and speeds working with the Jenny Groovy bits. Can't seem to edit those settings. I need to change this step over for the clearing out. You should be able to edit everything in your database. If you can't edit the settings in the database, then you may have an issue with the software or something glitch of some sort, and you may want to contact Vectric. There's no reason you should not be able to edit the settings in that database. Okay, 4 minutes before giveaway, and the extra giveaway, the gift giveaway that we got. So I'm going to be giving a Badger. By the way, that banner going across, 10% off the Badger, but I guess we're giving one away, so maybe you want to wait. But the discount is BRRR 25. Brr 25 because it's so cold out. It was 0 degrees this morning. Robert, I watched your This Is Home video. So Robert is talking about the video I made that walks you through how to make this project here. This is like a very basic, super simple project. If you're brand new to CNC and you want to actually cut a real project as a learning process, this is the video to watch. Very easy project. And the ladies will link that in the comments and we'll put it in the description of the video. Anyway, so you watch that video and use compression bit. Your question to me is, can you use a 1/4" ball nose end mill bit? So no, not with the way I have designed this. And when you're making a project like this, I'm going to bring your thing out of the way. So a ball nose bit, you can use a ball nose bit, but you are going to have a what they call a step over, and you're going to have a low step over, like a 5%, because you are cutting all this material out in order to get the raised letter effect. And unless you want texture in here, if you want this kind of wavy texture along the surface, you can use a ball nose. Otherwise, if you want it nice and flat, then no, you can't use a ball nose. If you decide to use a ball nose, I will say you absolutely can't, because you will just have to have your step over like a 5%, and that bit is going to take forever. The good thing is, the interesting effect would be, instead of having this, this dropped letter at a sharp angle, you'll have it'll be rounded at the bottom. So we'll have an interesting effect to it. If you wanted to, you use the ball nose just to profile the lettering and then offset the lettering by 1/8 of an inch or whatever, and then you'll have that effect, and then you can still use a flat bottom bit in it. So let's see if we can go to a next one. Have a spindle question. Maybe someone knows. When I set the speed, it does not hold. It ramps up and down, but never the set speed. Is that normal? No. It should come up to speed and hold speed. So you might have something going on with your VFD. Wherever you got the spindle at, go back to the company and ask them what is going on. Tell them what's going on and how to fix it. So if not, I'm not sure how to tell you how to fix it, because I am not a spindle expert. But anybody knows about spindles, if you know about something like that and what may cause that, please throw it in the comments for him. One more, and then we bring the ladies on board for the giveaway. All right, Mike, I have an MK1. So that's a long mill from CNC Labs. By the way, CNC Labs, if I said it earlier, they are coming out with a 4-foot wide by 2-foot deep alt mill, something a lot of people have been asking about. That is going to be released on January 29th. It's going to be $2,700. For those of you who got my email this morning, or I think it was this morning, I had the wrong price in there. I said something like 22, something like that. 2,700. If you want the alt mill 4x4, if you're eyeballing it and you're like holding off, you're not really sure, now is the time, because that price is going up on that machine on the 29th. They're going to raise it from 2,900 to 3,100. It's actually $2,995 right now, so it'd be $3,195, something like that. $200 more. Put a link in the description. If you've been eyeballing it, get the darn thing before the price goes up. Make sure you get a spindle. Okay. You have the MK1 for 3 years and just got the alt mill today. Hey, boy, if I didn't read the rest of that comment, brother, you are going to notice, you're going to be blown away at how different and how much faster that machine runs. Will my VCarve Pro MK1 programs work with my alt mill? Yes, they will. Don't sweat it. They'll work just fine. All right. Well, I have a minute over. Ladies, I'm going to bring you out. It is your turn. So bring it up. The bosses are here. It is time for the IDC Woodcraft weekly giveaway. They're going to, whatever they give away, they'll tell you exactly how to, it's their show. I'm going to just go look at comments and chew the fat with people for why you guys are doing this. So I'll talk to you later.
All right. Let me get us set up here. Okay, there's your code. I got a little ahead of myself here. We are giving away badgers, which Liberty has right there. I'm going to see if I can make her huge. Let's see. There we go. There's a cute little badger bit with this little card. All right. And yep, you get a nice badger sticker with that. You also get a cool ink pen. So we're going to be giving away two different sets, or 2 different badgers. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So we were going to give away one, but one of those is a gift from Erickson Design, right?
Yep,
so
yep.
just want to bring that up. Erickson Design donated some for the Badgers. To pay it forward. Badger Bit giveaway to new user tonight.
Yep.
Or next week. Well, I mean, we can give away 2 of them. We'll do one tonight, do one next week.
Yeah.
Well, you're doing 2 today. However, whatever. Sorry,
we're feeling generous. I mean, we're just throwing them all out tonight. Oh my gosh, I love it. I'm just so
tell them what to do.
Yeah, just excuse me. Enter the # or hashtag sign and bits cold in the chat over here, and we'll collect some entries. You only have to enter it once, so. Oh no, we'll have to send Mark another IDC pen. They are good pens.
I see that. They're
very good pens. So
I get you taken care of, Mark.
we'll send you some M&Ms with it too, if need be.
Don't announce that. His wife might steal them too.
Well, maybe we'll like hide some under a layer. Like, can we create a false layer in our packaging now, like so people's M&Ms are safe?
Right. So, folks, put bits cold in there. Hashtag bits cold. You guys are so creative with these names. That's so cool.
Honestly, this isn't really trying. This is me like Burr. It's 2025. Oh my gosh, bits.
Yeah, it is
cold. I've got my cauldron and my cover. So
don't forget to like the video, everybody.
Yes.
Yeah, give it a thumbs up. So, can you see the bit on my screen? What we're giving away? Am I sharing it?
Let's add you to the stage.
Oh, I didn't share it. I got to share my screen. There we go.
I got you. Hold on. You're getting ahead of me. There we go. Hold on. There we go.
It's cold. It's too funny. So, folks, while you're all waiting, they're going to do the random draw here in a little bit. I was talking to Sarah on the phone last night, and I inherited two chickens when I moved in here in my house, and I didn't. But I was moving into a house. I didn't want to deal with chickens, but she made me keep them and take care of them. And now last night she decided to come up with a name. And so she ended up picking Violet. So the one chicken that's left is named Violet. I wanted to name it Cordon Bleu, but she said, no, we're not going to name it after food.
Yes, it is an 1/8" shank on that.
Yep. Itsy bitsy. This is our little bitty baby rougher.
1/8" diameter cut. Anybody who's used the Badger, put a comment in there. Tell folks what is. Tell them about it. So put it this way: on this piece of ash that I actually made, I've had this piece of ash for a while that I made this card holder out of, and so I actually tested that bit on the card holder. And what was I was getting a 1/4 inch depth of cut, and I was running it at 120 inches per minute. That's pretty fast for an 1/8" diameter bit. I think that was the feed rate. It was a while ago. Oh, but I could look in the IDC Woodcraft phone app for the settings. If you go to your app store, either Apple or Android, and type in IDC Woodcraft, you will find our app. And in that app has all the router bits that we carry, minus the roundover bits, but we are going to be, let's see, rounding bits are on here, or are they not?
All right. While you're looking for those rounding bits, I'm going to run our first draw.
Okay. Yeah, the rounding bits are not on there right there. Okay, I'm sure that there's some kind of glitch, but we'll get that taken care of. Okay, girls.
I figured you would want that noted when I saw that comment.
All right.
Dan Matthews.
Woo-hoo. Dan is a winner of the Badger.
Winner, Badger Carver.
We're not going to see. Yeah. We're refraining from mentioning anything chicken and edible around Garrett.
Yeah. Violet lives.
We sell 1/8" collets too. I saw that. We are now getting ready to put ER collets and ER nuts on.
All righty. Are we ready for our second one? Does anybody have any last minute you haven't entered yet entries to throw in there?
If you've already entered, you're still entered.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you see Kimberly's comment?
I did.
Yeah. Winner, pets for dinner. We can start off with a chicken.
No.
We'll start off with a chicken. A chicken named Violet.
Chewy. Alrighty.
I had to pull Violet into. Yeah, I pulled Violet into the workshop because it's so cold out there.
Alrighty. Ready for our second one?
Yeah.
Let's run it. Kimberly.
Kimberly. Of all people, who deserves it better?
Winner, Badger Carver.
There you go, Kimberly.
She's getting horrible now.
Pop-Tarts and casserole.
All right, you guys. So to claim these, all you have to do is go to our website and hit contact us and put in the subject line Wednesday winner, and we will get you taken care of.
That's right. She was just mentioning that she would have to find her 1/8 collet.
Maybe we'll be generous and throw one in there.
IDC Woodcraft carries collets. We got the collets for the Makita trim router. And so because Erickson made the $50 donation, we will so we will do one more Badger.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah, because
Tonight?
one more Badger.
Whoa,
Tonight,
hold
right
on.
now.
All right.
Hold on. Let me see if I can do it. I already closed the tab out. Shame on me.
Yeah. So pound BITSCOLD. Pound bits cold. So if you're not put bits cold.
Okay.
It's cold.
All right. Yeah, but everybody's gonna have to enter it one more time.
Okay.
Except for Dan and Kimberly. I'm sorry.
Again.
I wasn't prepared for this. I'm sorry.
I knew he was going to do that.
Badgers for all. That's what
I'm
Erickson
so
said.
sorry, you guys. You got to do it again.
So that's okay. So the rule is if you won, you just can't win a second one, right?
Right. We'll just keep drawing if we have to.
Bits cold. All right. Put them in. Dion put it in parentheses with his name, and then he said bits cold. Does that work?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't seen. Let's see.
Will that work?
No, I don't think that will work.
It just has to be in the chat somehow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So long as that little bits cold's in there, you're good. Yeah.
All right.
But I think while we're waiting, we've got, let's see. We've got a couple of people that have never got their happy dance yet. So we can take care of that while we're getting these entries back in.
Let's do it. I'm going to minimize this screen right now. Who do we got?
We got it's Mike. It's Mike.
Bring him up.
It's Mike.
Okay.
It's Mike.
It's Mike.
Truth be bold.
Truth be bold. Truth be bold. We need some rap music. Mark needs to see in
Mark Detman.
Needs to put together your alt mill. Sweet. Got the alt mill.
All right. And then we got let's see, David McKay.
Welcome.
First time newbie on the channel. Come on. Dave, you never know. You come in here, we do a little party, happy dance for everybody who's new. Oh, just us. William, I'm the new owner of a long mill. Awesome, brother. You are going to have so much fun. That's a good machine. That's Liberty's favorite machine. That's the one she makes her stuff on. So, yep. Who else we got?
Right. I think that was the last one that I was coming up with. So,
all right.
Let's make sure we've got everybody here. Well, I've got to find the right tab now. I've got so many things
rap
up
music.
here.
Cody, you got to bring on the rap music.
All righty. Are we ready to draw it? Is there any last minute entries?
Let's do it. We got.
All right.
Go ahead.
Here we go.
Bada
bunch
bing.
of questions. All right.
Bada
This is so much fun.
Bits. David Meister.
David, congratulations. It was like a last minute call to give away another one. Thanks to Erickson, who gave us 50. So we're giving away 2 on his behalf. So thank you, Erickson. Woo! All right. So, folks, make sure you go to idcwoodcraft.com, go to the contact page. What's the subject line?
Wednesday win.
Wednesday winner.
I've got their names down so they can, I'll keep an eye out, making sure there's nobody trying to sneak in there.
Right. Okay, very cool. And
All
for the rest, y'all, we are doing a 10% discount on the Badger. So bring that banner back up. The discount code. That's the discount code. And if you didn't win, you can go pick up yourself a Badger. All right, let's get back to questions, ladies. It's always fun having you on board. Yes. Let's do it. Question time. Congrats, David. Everybody's congratulating you. All right, Ken, you're having trouble with Aspire version 12 when setting up a rotary project. I uncheck the flip design in the job setup. So I have not done a rotary. I'm literally am getting ready to. Next week, I believe I'm going to do start to put my rotary together, and I'm going to do a very basic project with this piece of wood right there. All I want to do is turn it into a round piece of wood and get the bark off of it. So anybody who's worked with a rotary, please take care of him, whatever the flip design in the job setup. Of course, Mark Lindsay out there can help out with that kind of stuff as well. So super cool. He said, but it flips. What did he say? But it still flips the design. So I don't know. I should know by the end of next week. Jeff, can you describe what makes IDC bits better than generic Amazon bits? I answered that question before. I designed my own bits. So I know what's going into them. I know who's making them. I know how they're making them. I know the quality control. I know the type of carbide they're using. And I know the geometries because I've done much of the design on those bits or worked with my tooling company to do the designs. And then we test the bits to make sure that they work, right? So, but the one thing I will tell you, again, is let's bring it up. I'm going to show you. I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to show you. I'm going to go to the IDC Woodcraft website. We're going to go to the home page. If it wants to get there, my computer is running slow. Right there, right at the top, it says 90-day, you break it, we'll replace it, no questions asked. So there, you do have to kind of answer a question. You have to go to this page here and you have to fill out the information so we know that you actually purchased the bit from us. And then there is you do have to send the bit back to us because we do want to inspect bits and see what's going on with them. All right. So, but it's up to you. You can buy Amazon bits. Let's see. Ed just received box number 1 of the gantry of the new alt mill today. Ordered it early in October 24. The next box is coming tomorrow. Dude, this machine, it'll take you about 5.5 to 6 hours to put together. You need a large working space. And it's a 4x4 machine. It's actually a little bit larger, obviously, because it has a 49-inch by 49-inch cutting space, like an actual work envelope that we call it. And so then you have the extra stuff. So figure a 5x5 space to play with, plus another couple feet. Because it's large, I actually had to build myself a temporary workbench to build my alt mill. Because it's a pretty large workspace that you're trying to put this thing together in. But cool, congratulations, you're going to love it. So Kimberly, she just got the new downcut 1/4-inch ball nose bit. Would it be good for a 0.6 deep dish cut like an egg? Yeah, totally. It follows the same rules of downcut, so it is going to keep your bits packed. When you make that first pass, it'll pack them down, but absolutely you can use it. It will, it's like any other down cutter bit. So, but you can go up to 1 inch. It's like any other down cutter. You can cut to the full flute length. And I would love to see what you are going to be making like an egg. So I would love to see it. Joey threw in a $20 donation. Thank you, Joey. Enjoy some beverages at the Chop House. Thanks. So yeah, I like to get Julianne turned me on to her favorite wine, which is Moscato wine. But I like my beer once in a while, or I'll have a fruity drink. But Chop House got to be a little more elegant there, right? So gotta get the good stuff. Chop House in Madison. First of all, Joey, thank you very much. So the Chop House in Madison, it is a higher end steak restaurant. So it's not one of those places that we don't go to. We don't go to it every week like we could, McDonald's or something to that effect. All right, Bobby. Hubby got me an X Tool P2 for Christmas. Hoping that I could back away from his IQ Pro by Laguna. Hoping that you would not be wanting to use that so much. Now you're trying to find ways to use both together. Any ideas? So I don't know what the XTP2 X-Tool P2 is. So I have to look it up. X2 X-Tool P2. Okay, so that is a laser. So it's very common for people to work with these. Actually, you want to watch the live show that we did last week with Jack in the Shop. He talked about that. There were questions of how you can work with the two together. People do it all the time. They'll make something on the CNC router, and then they will carry it over to the laser and finish it off. You know, put grandma's recipe on a cutting board or something to that effect. There's lots of stuff you can do with that to make them work together. It's like anything else. Imagination, it's a limit of your imagination as to what you can do. All right, 2 towers. Where is the button to see runtime in VCarve? Okay, that's a quick and easy one to show you. So we'll come over to this tuning fork thing that we did. No, I won't go there because I don't have a toolpath made up for that. By the way, I hope I answered that question before about that. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to cancel that toolpath I created. By the way, did anybody want this project? You're going to have to tell me if you want this project. I don't want to mess it up. I'm adding toolpath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 toolpaths. Okay, back at action. All right, so when you want to see the time, you come over to the toolpath menu. The upper brown icons are all toolpath icons. But down below, there are like various management icons. Down at the very bottom, you'll see the little icon with the clock. It's the second one from the left in the version 12 software. At the bottom, you click that, and that will have all your times for your project. So this project, according to this, is 1 hour and 40 minutes. Now, I got a video out there about some of these numbers that will show up. You may see a project that shows up for 10 hours, and you're going, how can it possibly run that way? Well, your numbers here may be a little off. The rapid rate, you need to know the rapid rate of your machine. By the way, for those who are getting the alt mill, your rapid rate is 600 inches per minute, nice and fast. And the scale number there, that would probably need to be changed as well. But anyway, that's where it's at. It's a little icon with the clock on it over the toolpath menu. And Mark, we almost thought about having you on board tonight. Hey, Kimberly has given us some cash. I guess ship my chicken dinner. Oh, that's when we cook up Violet, huh? It's cordon bleu. Does that work? Violet cordon bleu. All right. That's that shipping fee for the chicken dinner I'm going to make. Actually, I want to do that now that I have the space for it. Thank you, Kimberly, by the way. Now that I've got the space for it, I would think to slaughter my own chickens just to give that a shot. I don't know. Okay. Spooky. Will the maze be done on a 3018 machine? So the maze is, so I'm not sure. It depends on if you have one of those little tiny spindles, I wouldn't do the maze. I have to take a look. I got to look at a 3018. It's been a while. 3018 CNC. The answer is no. Spindle's not strong enough. I'm just looking at a bunch of different ones on Google, and I'm not seeing any that has a powerful enough spindle to do it. I would imagine, well, so I want to take that back. The answer is yes, but you would have to reconfigure the G code so it would not be nearly as aggressive and probably many more tool paths with a shallower depth of cut for the bit. The bit is a 1/4 inch shank bit. If you got one of those little small spindles on there, you're going to struggle with it. It's going to take way too long. So you want to have a normal size spindle, like a Makita trim router. That'll do it. Okay. Jay. Garrett, you order an alt mill in December and isn't expected until March. Should I upgrade to the alt mill MK2? Okay, so this is a good discussion. So for those alt mill users out there, you're going to start hearing the alt mill MK2. And the alt mill MK2 is basically it's I almost want to say they're just there's design modifications. The functionality, the actual control system of the machine is not different. What is different is some of the assembly aspects of it. The guide for the drag chain, there is no guide on the first one, so the drag chain would kind of flop around. I actually had to screw my drag chain in place. They actually created a slot and a way to secure that drag chain so it doesn't flop around. They are combining the wire harnesses. So one wire harness will have both will have both connectors in it instead of you having to run wires for everything and for the sensors as well. I don't think it's that big of a deal to wait for the MK2 because it's not a dramatic change. It's a little bit easier assembly. They did do one thing that I really like, two things that I really like on it. Is number one, for those who have the alt mill, there's the dust shields that are on the side. And what they have done is they've done away with the dust shields and they integrated the dust shield with the extrusion. So at the top of the extrusion, it actually comes over the thing, over the bearing rails. And they also added a step in the bottom of those same extrusions. So when you put the cross members together, they all just kind of sit on a step. Then they self-align. And they've done other little tweaks. I mean, you can wait, but I think overall, I don't think it's going to make a whole lot of difference. One of the major things that they did was the side extrusion rails, they actually added a web in the middle. And I think it was just for a little more robustness. Maybe, I'm not sure. They're acting on little things that they have found as they moved along. Like when I was putting mine together, I had to take a couple of bearings off that I didn't think I had to take off. And so they modified that so you don't have to disassemble a machine that's coming to you assembled, the subcomponents. Overall, Joey, I don't think it's that big of a deal. If you want to, you can. It's another $200. One of the other things they did is all the wiring. They've done wire management with it. So on the alt mill, the wires, you had to there's so much wire, you had to actually figure out how to store the extra wire. And so they have taken care of wire management. The wire is now running through the frame of the machine, and the wires are made to the length that they need to be made instead of you having a lot of excess wiring that's just kind of hanging out. You got to figure out what to do with. So I don't think it's that big of a deal. If you upgrade, the actual functionality of the machine is no different. Okay, we are offering a 10% discount right now on the Badger, the bit we just gave away. So up until 11:30 tonight, BRRR 25 is what's going on across the screen. Brr 25 because it's so cold out. And okay. Truth be told, is the Shark 510 a good entry router that is also good for small business? So the 510 is a small machine. I'm going to look it up because I just want to see actually how Shark 510. Okay, looks like it's, maybe a 24 inch by 24 inch. So it can be a decent starter machine for you. I mean, I like the Shark. I like the Shark. They do nice. Yeah, it could be a good starter machine. As far as business, for starting a small biz, when it comes to business, there's a couple ways to do it. I've seen people go for broke and they buy $100,000 machine and they don't even know what a CNC router is yet, right? I mean, talk about commitment, jumping off the diving board into an empty swimming pool. You got to make it work. The other way is to find a small machine, start to figure out what to make, niche yourself, super, super important, and then start making something, get it out there to market, and then let the machine buy you new machines, bigger machines as you grow. So yeah, I mean, it's a good machine. My personal philosophy, if I am seriously going to go into business, I want to say this because I have business acumen. I've been mentored by business mentors for quite a long time. So I'm not afraid to take a chance and dive into business because I understand how business works. I understand how to market. So my philosophy is, screw it. I would buy a 4x4 machine and just make it work, make it happen, figure it out on the way. You know, I'd be building the airplane as I'm building the parachute as I'm falling out of the airplane. So on the way down, that's the way I kind of roll. So I think you're okay. You're going to be limited to the size of the machine, obviously, and which can be okay. You let the machine pay for itself. You don't have to make super major crazy stuff. Just be niche-y, focus on one or two things, understand how to get that thing sold, learn, optimize yourself. You know, post on it, put a product on Etsy, learn how to put multiple postings of the same thing on Etsy. Ryan Drapella from Cutting It Close talks about that. He has made a lot of money on Etsy with his CNC projects. All right. And yeah, just zero in, work on one or two products, let the machine pay for itself. And before you know it, once you dial your whole product in and your marketing in, that machine will pay for itself in no time. You will need another machine. All right, so let's bring that comment out. Okay, Jace. Now, next week, right? Jace Dispenza from Airweights. I said this a while ago. Next week is Jace Dispenza from Airweights. We're going to talk about vacuum tables next week. He is going to talk about, you'll get educated on vacuum tables, how they work, and he will talk about the vacuum tables. So Airweights is like the only company out there that makes vacuum tables for the benchtop and like tabletop CNC routers or like the alt mill. He saw a need for a good vacuum clamping system for the level of CNC machines that I teach on, and he came up with them, and killer products, man. I've already got the 2-footer right on my other long mill, and now we are getting the 2x4 or 4x4. We're going to get that on the alt mill, and I can't wait to play with that. But anyway, he will be here next week. I do suggest that you show up because you're going to learn a lot. Jason's one smart guy. You're going to learn how these things work. To learn more about your CNC and the capabilities and the different things that you can do with your CNC, how you can hold things. Well, that last question, is a Shark 510 good for a business? And you get yourself into a production mode, you don't want to bother with putting clamps on. You want to be able to put that product on and off, on and off, on and off. That's what a vacuum table is good for. So Jace will be here next week. Make sure you show up. We will send an email out from the CNC insiders and let everybody know that he is going to be here. So thank you, Jace. All right, so Jeremiah, how much carbide versus filler is in the bits composition? They seem to stick to a magnet. So okay. So carbide is not absolutely non-magnetic. There are different levels, right? Of the, you get the carbide, you get the steel, or the different materials that's in it. But overall, carbide has a very slight magnetism, so you are going to get a little bit of magnetism off of most carbide. There is the really high grade carbide that magnets almost don't stick to, but it's also very, very expensive. Okay, next one is let me get that up there. Okay. Carl, I am making some round pockets with a 1/2-inch bullnose. What speed cuts should I use to minimize tool marks? So I'm assuming if you're doing pocket, okay, so you're doing pockets, round pockets. So I'm assuming that you are taking this and you're making a big round pocket on it. Number one, what I would do is when you're doing a pocket, I always like to do raster cuts, right? So in my software, in the Vectric software, I will bring it up. When you are doing a profile, let me find the right one. We'll do there. I think it's that one. No, it's not that one. It is that one. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now this is a roughing tool path. Hold on, let me get this reset. Okay, preview all tool paths. I don't want to preview all tool paths. I want to preview that one single tool path. There we go. This is done with the beast and it's going across the grain. So when you go into your tool path, we're actually in a pocket tool path. And if you go to the middle, we have the offset and the raster. So first of all, go with raster. Raster is going to give you straight cuts. Pocket will start in the middle of the project and it's going to work its way out and it's going to leave tool marks all over the thing, especially when it goes across the grain. So you always want to be with raster and you want your raster cuts to be with the grain. So the question is what speed cut should I use to minimize the tool marks? So for my finished cuts, I'm generally doing 40% step over. Speed depends on a bit. You're using a bullnose. So bullnose is a flat, like an end mill, flat end mill, but it's got a radius on the outside of it. That radius is going to add pressure against the tool and will give you more tool deflection. So it's hard to say. It's a 1/2-inch bullnose. You should 40%. You're gonna have to do experiments. So here's it's sometimes hard to answer these questions. I'm gonna bet and maybe hope Mark has already said this. Maybe Greg might have too. Every piece of type of wood is different. You've got to feel it out. One of the things I do, like what I did with this guy, is I used my beast router bit to do all the roughing work to bring the top down to almost this finished level. And then I used a bottom cutting bit, a standard upcut end mill, and I took off 0.2 and it gave it a nice clean cut. So think about roughing the material away to a thin amount, and then you come in and do a finish cut. And that will help avoid tool marks altogether because the router bit is not doing a lot of work on that finished cut. A lot of times in machining, when we first get involved in this stuff, we want to reduce the amount of time that it takes to actually get the runtime, right? I mean, efficiency is one thing, but getting a good finish is another, because the worse the finish, the more work you have to do on a project after it's done. And so I like to do actually finish cuts. This is almost standard when I was in CNC machining in the metal industry. You do all your roughing work and then you come back and you take a spring cut, a nice little small sliver cut that will give you a nice clean cut at the end. So think about doing that, rough it out and then leave a 0.2, 0.3, and then do all your cleanup. And you should not have any tool marks with that because there's no pressure against the tool. From Donald, how do I store my bits? Should I keep them in plastic boxes? Okay, so let's see. Need to protect this down. Okay, so CNC router bits are made of tungsten carbide. And tungsten carbide doesn't like heavy shocks, right? So if you drop bits, you're liable to chip it. So yeah, I always just keep it in the container. But I am actually going to make a router bit holder. I should have done this years ago. A lot of people actually make them, right? They'll make a little holder, like just a tray where they can set them in, and they can just set the router bits in the tray. But what I've seen most people do is they will make the tray slots for the actual package itself. They'll keep the router bit in the package, and then they got a place to put the package. Best way to keep your bits. I would always keep them in some kind of container. Always clean them off, before and after you're done cutting. Right? You don't want sawdust on the bits because sawdust will get up in your collet. And like I say, you always got to clean your collets when you're done every time you change a bit, because you don't want to get that sawdust in there. The sawdust will create bit slip, right? The router bit will literally slip as it's cutting. And before you know it, you've actually ruined the project. You don't even realize it's doing the slipping. Okay. We are getting close to the end. I've got 2 more questions that they have starred, and then we're going to knock off because Liberty is at the office. She needs to get to her new house. She just got to, but I do want to take a look at some of the comments. Yep. Mark said clean the collet too. Yeah, you clean the collet nut. Get that sawdust out of there every single time. That's on the setup sheet that we do. I don't have that up here. It's down at my machine. So the checklist. When your project, your setup is the most important thing. If you don't set it up right and follow all the steps, you are setting yourself up to scrap a project. So you want to make sure you follow the setup sheet, and on the setup sheet has this specific instruction that Mark just said. Clean the collet too. You follow the setup sheet as you change your router bits, and you will know to clean your collet, and you'll make sure you get it done. All right, Wayne, can I do photos on wood? And do you have a video about doing it? I do not have a video. Yes, you can carve the photos into wood, but I do not have a video. I have not done that. Mark, do you have a photo VCarve? I don't think you do, if I remember. If you do, put a comment in there, maybe put a link in there. Mark says, speaking of checklists, he's in the middle of writing a new one for the new CNC 12 controller software. Okay. CNC 12. What are you doing messing with somebody's controller software? Writing sheets for them. Something we don't know about you, Mark, that you're getting involved in? All right. From John. VCarve Pro is hard to learn. Would a course be worth the investment? Liberty, need you on this end. You ready? Okay, here she is. All right. So, he's saying, is the course worth the investment for VCarve?
Yes. Here's why. Yes, you could probably figure it out. Yes, there are videos out there on lots of different things on VCarve, but nothing will teach you and take you through it like Kyle Ely's course. Nothing will give you the resource to look back on like Kyle Ely's course, and like the community that comes along with Kyle Ely's course as well. It's well worth the investment. Yeah.
So, John, look at it this way. So, anybody who has, you're getting into CNC, and you, at least for the Vectric software, right? I want you to think of it like this. Number one, you paid, $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, $10,000 for a CNC router. Then you're paying another couple $100 to $300 for CNC bits. You are spending all the time getting things ready. You are buying the software, and you bought all the stuff, but it doesn't work without the knowledge up here. So I brought Liberty on because she has taken a course in the Vectric software, and she's still taking it. And it's funny because she's making stuff. I'm watching her make stuff, and it's like, crap, I don't even know how to do that. And some little things when I was watching her once, it's like she's using some tools, and I didn't even know these tools existed in the Vectric software. She got it from learning with Kyle. All right. And so the whole idea is you're investing all this stuff, invest in the knowledge of how to use it. It's so important to understand how the software works, because the software is logical. All right. And I have seen ask anybody in the thread who has been in social media teaching, Mark, whatever, we get questions all the time. Why doesn't this vector work? Why is my toolpath messed up? And it's usually coming back to very foundational things, like not understanding how nodes are being set up, or vectors that are crossing over that shouldn't cross over, or you're working with it, you're trying to do a pocket with a closed vector, with an open vector type of thing. So
I will second what Erickson Design and Woodworking said. 80% of my time on a project is spent in your CAD or your CAM, your Vectric software, you're designing, you're, creating your toolpaths and your G code and so on and so forth. 80% of your time you're investing into 80% of your worth for your projects, business, success, fulfillment, etc.
Yeah, totally. Excellent. Excellent point. I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, so we'll take this project, right? So I've got the 3D relief carves on top of here. So I had to understand how to adjust the thickness of these relief carves, right? How to place them properly at the proper depth on the part. How it's the molding tool path. How to understand how this molding path needs to work. There's a lot to it. And you got the basics. Yes, take the course. Take the course. You will save yourself a ton of time. Julianne, throw the link in the comments. The link will be down in the description of the video as well. Please take the course. You can take Kyle's boot camp, free boot camp course, so you can see at least how he trains. Folks, those who have taken Kyle's course, please make a comment in there. Tell them, answer it for John. Is it worth taking a course in the Vectric software? In the meantime, Mark said he got the new Avid EX control system that runs Centroid Acorn. CNC 12 is the controller. Boy, all right. We have made it through all of our questions. So Ellen, one of our regulars, is here all the time. So she's changing her bit tray so her bits are not standing up so close to each other. Yeah. Bits will cut you. And you got them too close to each other. You get a lot of hangnails out of that one, don't you, Ellen? Okay. So Joe said Kyle's course is very worth every cent you spend on it. And Greg at STL Woodworking says he's actually taking this class. It is worth it, and he has experience. Yeah. Definitely. If I could do it again, I would have gone back and taken his course. Now I have jumped into his course and I've learned a lot. Even at the basic level, he teaches stuff that I'm like, even I've been doing it for so long. It's like, crap, I didn't realize that was there. So, yeah, okay. Ladies, I'm going to pull you in. We are going to knock off for the night. So, in the background, that's been Julianne, who managed the giveaway. There's Liberty, who they both did the giveaway. Liberty does all the shipping for you, and she will make sure you get M&Ms in your package. Next week, we have Jace Dispenza from Airweight, where we're going to talk about vacuum systems. And do be there, definitely be there to learn about another way of holding your projects. And with that, I think, Ed said he's taking Kyle's course now. It's exceptional. Yeah, definitely go for it. Did you throw the link in there?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
It was up there quite a little bit.
Okay.
Couple comments.
All right, folks. Yep. thank you, ladies, for hanging out again. As late as it is and as cold as it is, Liberty has to go outside, and she's just skinny little thing. So, I mean, she loses her body heat real fast. Thank you for hanging in there, Liberty, making it happen. And Julianne and ladies, we will see you tomorrow. Brothers and sisters, we will see you next week, next Wednesday, with our special guest, Jace Dispenza. Have a great CNC evening. We'll talk to you next time.